Hello, and welcome back for another adventure in the cookie jar. Today we're doing the 7th recipe from Devil's Food Cake Murder. They are called Papaya Macs. They're kind of the other half to the mini Macs we did last week. For these, we are preheating the oven to 325. We want a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 7-ounce packages of flaked coconut, and 2 cups of chopped dried papaya. So I had to get it off Amazon. None of the stores I checked had dried papaya. They had papayas, but yeah. It does have a note that dried papaya isn't always available 12 months out of the year. If you can't find it, you can use any dried fruit. I've made this cookie with dried pineapple, dried apricots, sweetened dried cranberries. I think it could very well be delicious with anything. Another note is these cookies are called mac because they're macaroons. I always chop my coconut flakes a little finer in my food processor with a steel blade. If you don't have a food processor, you can lay it out on a cutting board and chop it with a sharp knife. It says to prepare your baking sheets. You can use mini-sized paper baking cups, mini muffin pan without baking cups, or cookie sheets. If you don't have the little cups, make sure you flour and spray whatever pan you're using. If you're using the cookie sheets, to use foil and then spray those. It's essentially the exact same as the ones from last week. It's sweetened condensed milk. It's mixed into the vanilla, and then into that the coconut, into that the papaya, and then just scoop them out. Try to lightly pat the tops. Baking them at 325 for 15 to 18 minutes. And they're done when the coconut is toasted to a golden color. I'll leave them in the pans for 2 minutes, take them out, let them cool. Store them in between wax paper, make sure they don't touch. They can be frozen, don't let them touch. Claire and Bob loved these. They promised to bring back every type of tropical dried fruit they can find in Hawaii so I can experiment with it. So, with that being said, let's get started. This is everything we're gonna need. All right, so the first task is getting the condensed milk into the bowl. Always messy. So now we have our vanilla. Just want to get those two nice and mixed. All right. To that, we're adding the coconut. All right. And the last thing is our papaya. So now that we have that part done, we have our mixture made. We're going to take our lined tin. Scoop in some water just to make it a little bit easier to come off. All right, so I think I'm going to scoop them all, then worry about getting them a little bit flattened out. I know that last week they said they didn't puff up too much, but I flattened those cookies all the way and they were still domed. So take that with what you will. Not quite sure how they decided to puff up, but they definitely did. Not much. Okay. So here's the first try. They kind of look like little pepperoni pizzas. The coconut totally looks like mozzarella, and the other little fruit pieces look like pepperoni. Papaya. I could not think of papaya for a minute. This is what we ended up with. It's going to go in the oven for 17 minutes and we'll see if they're done. And here is our finished product. So these are the Papaya Macs. They're definitely coming off the paper a little bit easier than the melted chocolate, so that's a bonus. They're just as messy as the other ones, don't let it fool you. Overall, I think I like these ones better. The fruit, I don't want to say stiff, but it definitely gives you resistance when you bite down. It's kind of nice. It gives it like a little bit of a different texture. The toasted coconut is so good. I don't know if it's the coconut with the tropical fruit because she did mention using other dried fruits in it, but it works really, really well. These are very tasty. They did not take very long. I think in total they took maybe an hour. So it's not a bad haul. Not a bad amount for an hour. Next week, I'm splitting that recipe in half into like a 13.1 and a 13.2. Where am I getting 13? I think 13 is the number of the book. I think it's the 8th recipe, so 8.1 and 8.2. One is going to be an orange cream cookie. The other one is a lemon cream cookie. Yeah, orange or lemon creams. So next week I'll make the orange creams. Week after that I'll make the lemon creams, and we'll see which one comes out better. They essentially seem to be almost a bit like an Oreo, where you have a sandwich cookie and then the frosting in the center. So I hope they're really good. We will find out next week. If you are interested, join us. Have a good one. Bye, guys.